Today we coming to you with another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions, and this week we're talking about rejection. And I'm putting it out here because I had a friend get at me and he said, you know what? I was listening back in December and I heard the podcast about shooting your shot, and hey, I shot my shot and asked my job for a promotion. I honestly don't think he had all his ducks in a row, but hey, he had the effort. He tried, but he's dealing with a little rejection. I also had another partner hit me up, and he out here, he living his best life, single, but he finally want to get a lady and get a little love in his life. But he's dealing with rejection too. So I say, you know what? I'm going to get with the doctor, and I'm going to make this episode about y'all and rejection. So the floor is yours, Dr. Robin. So tell us a little bit more about rejection and what one can do when they face rejection.
Yes. I'm glad we're talking about this because I think it's universal. Like, we have all felt the pain of rejection, whether it's in our personal lives, as you were talking about with your one friend, or in our work-related lives, putting ourselves up for a promotion, or even when we've been unemployed, applying for a job or a position that we were really excited about and we don't get it. And so it brings up a lot of emotions for us when we are rejected. Another example that I can think of rejection that a lot of people go through is maybe trying to mend a relationship that has been estranged, like with a family member or something like that, and you decide to put yourself out there and it doesn't go the way that you wanted. The person's not interested in mending that relationship. So that can be really hard and really challenging. And so I just wanted to talk about some of the things that we can do when we find ourselves in that position, because again, this is something, if you're human, if you're living your life, if you're being vulnerable, if you're putting yourself out there, 9 times out of 10 at some point during your lifetime you will experience rejection. And so we need to know, like, what do we do? Because a lot of times it brings up negative emotions, and we want to be able to nurture ourselves and take care of ourselves. So that's how it relates to self-care. We will experience painful things in life, and we want to be able to meet ourselves in a way that is compassionate and in a way that is really nurturing for ourselves, so we don't make the situation worse. So what are my tips? I have 5 tips for how to deal with rejection. The first one is to allow yourself to feel what you feel, to feel your emotions. So when you're rejected, what are some things that you feel? You might feel sad, you might feel embarrassed, you might feel disappointed, you might actually feel afraid about, like, what chances am I going to get in the future if this person turned me down or this opportunity passed me up. Is that going to happen to me again? So there can be some fear there. And just feeling discouraged, feeling like I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to put myself out there again because I don't want to feel this. So it doesn't feel good, but it is very important for us to allow ourselves to feel those emotions. So it can be easy to just act like you don't care or try to brush it over and go to the next thing. But those emotions are there to really kind of help us process it and make sense of it. So you want to just allow yourself to feel what you feel. It's okay to be upset about it. It's okay to be disappointed about it. Don't try to ignore those emotions. Let them be there. Feel those feelings. Then second is to talk to somebody about how you're feeling in the aftermath of rejection. Now, I know this can be a challenging one because sometimes our tendency when we're rejected can be to hide. We can feel embarrassed, and so we can feel like, oh, I don't want other people to know because I'm ashamed or embarrassed that I got rejected. But the thing that talking to someone can do is they can help you make sense of it, and they can also help validate that it makes sense why you're feeling upset. Like, you deserve to feel sad, you deserve to feel disappointed, you deserve to feel a little bit just unsettled about the situation. Like, it's okay to feel that way, and other people, if you share with them, they can help you to process it and help you to talk through it and help you to move forward. So that social support can be really important, and that validation that you can get from other people is really key, telling you that it's okay to feel your emotions.
Got you.
Then third, try not to take it personally and don't let it define you. So I think that's the most important one, is don't let it define you. So it can be very tempting when we are rejected from something that we really wanted. I face this all the time in my work. Being a faculty member at a university, we have to apply for grants, we have to submit papers, and that's just like putting yourself out there and opening yourself up for people to say, no, you're not good enough, you're getting rejected. And so it can be easy when you do that for a living, or when you continuously are putting yourself out there in family relationships and your romantic relationships, or just in your work, to identify that as a part of you, or take it personally like you have some kind of defect or some flaw. But we don't want to look at that. So for example, if you are put yourself out there for a promotion and you don't get that promotion, not letting that turn into, well, I'm incompetent and I'll never be able to accomplish anything. Don't kind of let it define your identity. Accept it as what it is. It's one instance that you were rejected, that you didn't get something that you wanted. So don't let it define you. Try not to take it personally. A lot of times in these situations, there are a lot of factors that go into play with why someone might reject you, pass you up for a promotion, or maybe exclude you from a social gathering that you found out other people were invited to. There can be other contextual factors that you're not aware of. So try not to take it personally. Sometimes it is personal, and I won't deny that, but try not to take it personal if there could potentially be other factors at play.
So it is what it is. Don't overthink it. Don't Monday morning quarterback it. Just accept it.
Accept it. Don't let it define you. Don't let it define you.
Got it.
Then next is get back on the wagon. My fourth tip, get back on the wagon. So after you've been rejected, there still may be that desire there. So we've been talking about promotion. Like, you still might desire to advance in your career or do more for yourself. So don't just completely abandon your goal or your dream that you have for yourself just because you ran into one hurdle or one obstacle. So don't let that just derail you. Make sure that you take some time, take care of yourself, feel your emotions, get that social support, and then reevaluate and come up with another way that you're going to try to pursue that goal. So just because you got a no one time doesn't mean it's a no forever, or doesn't mean that it'll be a no the next time you put yourself out there. So don't let it stop you from pursuing that goal. It's still a worthwhile goal to go after. And then my fifth and final tip is to try to see the larger meaning. What lesson could you potentially take away from this rejection? What could it be trying to teach you? I am a big believer that every experience that we have in life, there is a silver lining, that there's something that we can take away from it that's positive. So try to challenge yourself. What about this can be positive that I can take away from this situation? So if you put yourself out there for a promotion, or you try to get a job, maybe it's the universe telling you that this is not the right job for you. Maybe it's something better that's out there for you. Or maybe I put a paper and it gets rejected, or I put in a grant and it gets rejected one place, but then someone else loves the grant. So maybe it just wasn't the right home for it. And me telling myself that, okay, I will find the right home for this grant or this paper or whatever I'm doing. So see if you can challenge yourself to see the positive meaning in it, because just because we get rejected once, a temporary no or a no right now doesn't mean a no forever, that you'll never get what you want. So try to encourage yourself by seeing that larger meaning. If you're a spiritual, religious person, seeing the spiritual meaning in it, like God has something better for me. Like, this was a good opportunity for me, but he has a great opportunity for me on the horizon. And so I'm choosing to believe that. And that's what I'm taking away from this rejection. So again, don't let it put you down, and try to see what is the silver lining, the positive that I can take away from this.
Right. Try to bring the positive out of it. And it made me just think, my mom always used to tell me, it ain't gonna rain forever. So You might be having a bad moment right now. It might not be what you want, but it'll come around, and what's nice come twice.
Exactly. So take care of yourself. So just to recap our tips for today, when we're dealing with rejection, my tips for dealing with that and taking care of yourself is, first, it's okay to be disappointed. Let yourself feel that sadness, that disappointment, maybe even the embarrassment, the fear that comes along with that. Number two, share your feelings with someone else. That validation can be really important when we're dealing with the rejection. Third, try not to take it personally, and don't let it define you. You are not defined by your failures or the rejections that you have in life. Fourth, get back on the wagon as soon as possible. Don't abandon your goal or your dream just because you got rejected once. And then fifth, see if you can challenge yourself to find the larger meaning, see the silver lining. What positive can you take away from this rejection experience to help propel you forward in your life? So I know that this can be hard because we all don't like to be rejected. Of course, we put ourselves out there because we want what we go after, but the reality is that we will face rejection. And so I hope that the things that I've said today will help soften the blow for you a little bit when you do find yourself dealing with rejection in your life.
But we appreciate this, and I know the homies really gonna appreciate you actually blessing us with some info that they can actually apply. And I'm sure it's a lot of other people out there that's listening that this can help them also. So as always, Dr. Robin, we appreciate you. And until next week,
take care. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.
Thank you for taking better care of you and for listening to another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions. Stay connected and tuned up with Dr. Robin Gobin. Visit robingobin.com or follow us on all platforms at Dr. Robin Gobin. Stay healthy and stay balanced with Self-Care Prescriptions.